Well, if you click into the drawing editor as I've done now and type the snap command, up pops the drafting settings dialog box. You can here set polar tracking. I have it turned off, and that is important for this little exercise. And object snap settings are here as well. But let's go back here. If we turn the grid on and snap on, and I've set a grid and snap step of 250, in other words, they're locked together. The grid has a 250 by 250 setting, and they're locked together. The bold step is 4. That means every 4 times 250, or every meter, there will be a bold indicator. And let me return to the screen, and I hope you can see the individual grid. So I'm currently on a bold, cross, 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 and each one of those steps is 250. You can see the cursor is jumping to an electronic grid that's on top of the drawing. Notice in the status line that the word snap and grid are made red. They're all under control, those snap and grid settings. So what would you use them for? You might, if you were planning to place some 250mm paving bricks, well, you might want to start the rectangle command, and let's do that and do a 2-point rectangle. And I've got my drawing color set in red, so I can draw a rectangle very easily, and it locks into the grid. So I'm just repeating the rectangle command and confident that every rectangle that I put down, let's zoom in a little and we'll pick one of them, and if we look at it, its width and height is 250. So the grid and snap settings can be important in certain applications. Let me just change my view with a background color of white, and you can still see, I think, the individual bold steps, but it's a little more difficult to see the individual steps. But can you see as I move the cursor around, it jumps to grid point? And you can remove those by just clicking on the word snap. Now as we move around, they're no longer locked, the cursor is no longer locked. Various function keys also control that. F9 controls snap. So those two work together. I would advise not to have polar on when you're using snap and grid in the way that I've done here, because I think polar settings will take precedence to the snap and grid.